Welcome back, everybody. This is Dave the Gamer. Today we're going to have a excellent content for you to stir up some shit. Today I'm talking about the BLW priority list for who should get the items. Today I'm looking at the Shadow Priest, Mage, and Warlock. And yes, I am a Warlock main, so might be a little biased. I'm going to try not to be. I did talk with a ton of different guild leaders to kind of compile what I think is the best list. But without further ado, let's jump into this. So after my last video of priority list in ZG, got a little shit talking. Obviously everybody wants the items, and Warlocks mainly just need hit items. Mages get 6% from their talents, along with a lot of their other gear gives them hit. Shadow Priest, I mean, they definitely could use hit, not as much as Warlocks do. So you'll see a lot of the items I'm going to recommend with hit go to Warlocks, and regular raw damage go to Shadow Priest. Mages are obviously always going to get gear. They're always going to be top of the meters. But it's our time to shine. The Warlocks are coming back. We're trying to get up into the top 15 damage. So hook us up, and let's see. So Razgore, first boss. I'm going to start from the first boss going to the last. End it with some items from trash. So first boss, Razgore. He drops the Mantle of Blackwing Cabal. 34 spell power shoulders, which this is what I would give to your Shadow Priest first, then your Mages, then your Warlocks. Shadow Priest, like I said, they don't get any tier gear, so it's crucial for them to be able to get any spell damage that they possibly can when possible. So I'd definitely give this to them first. Now Vael drops finally a nice belt for us Warlocks, our tier belt. So not everybody's even competing versus us. Gives us the 1% hit, which is equivalent to the Mana Ignite in in MC. So it's a nice little belt for us to drop. And even for the Mage gets hooked up, he drops the Mind Quickening Gem. It gives 33% casting speed to Mages. They are going to be burning through mana with it, but for those shorter fights, it's going to be an excellent trinket to make them even more overpowered. Broodlord's going to be dropping the Bracers of Arcane Accuracy. The Bracers of Arcane Accuracy are bracers that have 1% hit on it, and this is where I think it should go to Warlocks first, then Mage, then Shadow Priest. I understand some of these items are also, best in slot for Mage, but the Warlocks, I mean, it's frustrating as hell missing 6 times in a row because you have 0% hit. So the Warlocks need these items first. The Mages already can hit. It's not that they don't deserve the item. They're going to get it, but your 3 or 4 Warlocks in your group need to get this item first. Now, obviously, BWL has been out for, a month now, so a lot of people are already starting to get a ton of this gear already, so, it could be on to the Mage's turn getting it. This could be more of a guide for newer guilds just getting into BWL, but let's move on to Ebonroc. Ebonroc, one of the Loot Pinata dragons, he drops the Ebony Flame Gloves, 43 shadow spell power. This is where I would give it to your Shadow Priest first, then your Warlock. Ebonroc also drops Band of Force Concentration, an excellent ring with 1% hit and some spell power. The hit, the Warlocks, I think they should get it. Then the Mages, then the Shadow Priest. And then the next Loot Pinata, Flamegor, drops the Dragon's Torch Wand. It is only 6 spell power, has some great base stats to it, so it's not as good as what you might rock into. It's not an upgrade as far as raid wise, but it's 95 DPS. So this is a great wand for open world farming, and I would love to get my hands on it personally. Moving on to Chromaggus. Chromaggus drops the Claw of Chromaggus. It's a one-handed, I believe it's a sword. And it's 64 spell power, a little bit of mana regen. This is where I've got into some arguments with some people where it should, like they say, it should be given to shamans if you're on Horde, because they don't have a lot of other great healing weapons. But then you look at Neff that drops, I believe it's 84 spell power mace that they could easily use for their healing. So the reason why I would like it, I mean, if someone thinks they really should be able to get it first, great, you can have it. But I want to get my hands on it. One, because as a Warlock, I don't think I'm going to, like, I'm pretty far down the line to actually get the Staff of Shadow Flame. But also, it's huge for PvP. I could have, you know, a lot of my other things I need, Skull of Impending Doom, and like there's so many offhands that I want to use for PvP. I would rather take the little bit of hit on spell power and get the Claw of Chromaggus. So I would say that'd be a Warlock Mage Shadow Priest item. And let's see, with Chromaggus, the Grass Belt, 2% spell hit. Originally, I was thinking that would be Warlock because they definitely need the hit. Like I say, I'm a broken record. I get it. I'm just trying to fucking get up on the DPS meters. But I've also heard of a lot of arguments where warriors will want this. So, you know, for like the 4 horsemen and Nax, that they're able to use it's for their taunt ability to actually land, because they cannot miss that taunt. So they're going to need as much spell hit as possible. So if that's the case, I would definitely give it to the warrior first before the warlock. But let me know let me know down below in the comments if any of these I might be out of line, or if you think it should go to this person instead of this person. I love to hear the feedback. But let's move on to Neff. Neff drops in my eyes, 4 top items for, you know, us Shadow Priest, Warlocks, and Mages. The number one, let's get it first. Staff of Shadow Flame, 84 spell power, 2% crit. I would think this actually goes to your Mage first, then your Warlock, then your Shadow Priest. Mages, like I said, already have the hit, so they thrive with the crit. You know, like they're already producing a ton of damage. Give them some more crit, let them crank it up. So I would definitely say give that to all of your mages first. And then another crit item that I think should go to them, the Circuit of Mind Flayer, 2% hit on, or 2% crit on the Helm, and awesome spell damage. I would give that to my mages first, then my Warlock, then my Shadow Priest. Shadow Priests really don't need crit. Really the only thing that can crit is their Mind Blast every like 8-10 seconds, so it's not as beneficial. I'm sorry, and I just thought, I can already hear all the shamans and the druids being like, what the fuck, bro? Why am I not on this list? I get it, man. Boomkins, I love you. I love your 5% crit buff, but you guys are down the list. I mean, you got to realize that. I mean, you guys are great utilities for the group, and you do great damage. But, you know, Warlocks, Mages, and Shadow Priests are going to come first, at least with these items. Like I said, I'd love to hear some different feedback below, so keep me posted. But moving on, after the Circuit of Mind Flayer, Cloak of Broodlord, 28 spell power back. I would say this is going to go to your Shadow Priest because they don't have the tier gear, then your Mage, then your Warlock. So I would give this to the Mage before Warlock, because in ZG, there is a cloak that the Warlocks are going to need first because it has hit. And then the best item I think there is, the Nephilim's Tier. 44 spell power, 2% hit trinket. I believe this lasts you the entire way to Nax, I believe even through Nax. It's an amazing trinket. Obviously, every single caster is going to eventually want this one. But with it having hit, I would definitely give it to all of your Warlocks first, then your Mages, then your Shadow Priest. let's wrap it up with some of the trash. Even the trash drops some great stuff here. So, two that come to mind: Ringo's Blizzard Boots. Here's a prime example of the mages. They get their fair share. 1% hit, 40 spell power boots. Obviously, all the mages are going to really be going for those sets of boots. I mean, that's just the trash. And then for the ring, Band of Dark Dominion, 35 shadow spell damage. This is where, once again, I would give it to my Shadow Priest first, then my Warlock. I appreciate it if you guys made it this far. Hopefully I wasn't too out of line and started up too much shit in this video. Maybe I enjoy doing that, who knows. But I'd love to hear all of your guys' feedback. If you did enjoy this content and other content I create, please think about hitting the like, subscribing. I got tons more content waiting to be released, and I love to interact with everybody. So if you leave a comment, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to respond. I want to interact, I want to learn. So but until then, game on.